Hey everyone, welcome to my second installment of Tips for Intermediate Players. For this episode, what I thought I'd do is show you what loadouts I use and then explain to you why I use them over some gameplay as well. And then I'll spend quite a bit of time talking about just armor abilities and the strengths and weaknesses of using certain armor abilities. Okay, so for the first two loadouts I use, these are my two Infinity Slayer loadouts, and these are only really different from the second set of loadouts because of requisition. Being able to reroll your ordnance is incredibly useful in my opinion, because you may get something crap after 5 or 6 kills, and then being able to get something possibly better is always an advantage. For the second set of loadouts, these are my loadouts that I use for anything that doesn't have personal ordnance, and requisition is obviously swapped out for resupply. I find that to be incredibly useful because you're not able to pick up grenades from people's bodies in default settings of Halo 4. And then for my last loadout, this is my big team battle loadout, just basically for the plasma pistol and plasma grenades to take out vehicles, and then ammo just because on big team battle I usually don't go on big sprees. So first I'll talk about primary weapons, and the only two primary weapons I really use consistently are the battle rifle and the DMR. So for the DMR, it's essentially the best primary weapon in the game. It's got the best bullet. It's got the most bullet magnetism, the most amount of auto aim. It's basically just the best primary weapon in the game, hands down. A jack of all trades. Got it close to medium to long range. So if you want to go try-hard mode or get some multi-kills or a big spree, DMR is definitely the weapon to go with. I do use the battle rifle because currently MLG settings and competitive settings are using battle rifle only starts. So when I go from matchmaking to custom games, I can use my loadouts with the battle rifle to essentially warm up my battle rifle and then feel a lot more comfortable going into custom game settings with the battle rifle ready to go. So yeah, those are the reasons I use those two weapons. For grenades, it basically just comes down to personal preference. Like with me, I like to be able to bounce my frag grenades into certain positions and get them in an area where I think someone might be sitting. Yeah, I just find the skill in using to bounce frag grenades is really quite satisfying, rather than running up to someone and just sticking them with the plasma grenade. Like with plasma grenades, they can encourage you to play badly. Like instead of using them to cleverly stick someone whether you're about to die and stick them, or stick someone from a long range distance, you'll just you'll see a lot of bad players use plasma grenades essentially to run in a straight line at someone and just stick them. So if you notice yourself doing that, it might be a bit wise to maybe switch out to frag grenades, and you'll play a bit more wisely and not rely on plasma grenades too much. For tactical packages, I kind of mentioned it already, but requisition and resupply, in my opinion, are the only two useful ones. Mainly because, yeah, I haven't really seen anything else that's caught my eye, and being able to pick up extra grenades in the is way better than anything else that I've seen, or resupply, being able to reroll your ordnance. For support upgrades, you'll probably see that I only use ammo and dexterity. I haven't really noticed anything else that's been particularly useful. So I basically just use those two. Ammo can be really useful if you want to complete weapon commendations or go on big sprees, so you'll be able to get a full clip of extra snipe ammo, or get an extra 2 rockets, for example. I'm still trying to complete the binary rifle commendation, so having an extra, I think it's an extra 2 shots in the binary rifle is really useful. Also, it's just generally useful if you want to, camp back and get a few extra kills with the sniper rifle. So armor abilities. What I've done is basically put them into two different areas. So the first lot of armor abilities, I would consider them armor abilities that don't really change your playstyle up too much, and that they do still encourage map movement and you to play quite intelligently. So these armor abilities I would say would be Jetpack, Thruster Pack, Hologram. They don't really make you play too differently, like for example Jetpack and Thruster it's just used to get to a certain place, or Hologram to trick an opponent and juke them out. Actually I'll probably make three different groups actually, and the second group would be abilities basically in the middle, so they can change your playstyle but probably not too much, and they would be probably Hard Light Shield and Promethean Vision. Promethean Vision can make you a little bit too complacent sometimes and make you rely on it, and same with Hard Light Shield, and that they can cause you to always rely on them for awareness or surviving a little bit longer, but they're not too bad in my opinion. The third group is the group that definitely changes your playstyle up a lot, and for this group I would put Camouflage and Regeneration Field into this group. The reason I say that they change your playstyle up quite a lot is they make you play far too defensively or aggressively. So for Camouflage in particular, like this is my personal opinion, I think Camouflage should be taken out of the game, but to each their own I think anyway. For Camouflage, it basically encourages you to camp far too much and ambush players or camo snipe. It's not really helping you play any more intelligently. It's essentially just sitting still in a corner and waiting for someone to make a move instead of you making the move first. And it just encourages you to play, like I said, far too defensively, and you won't see yourself improving that much. And you also like move really slowly as well if you want to use it to its full ability, and it's just boring in my opinion. And then for Regeneration Field, it's almost the same. It's basically encouraging you to sit in one area because you're tied down to that regen field basically, and it can also make you play overly aggressive as well, where you'll lose like a bit of a DMR fight, but then you know, you can poke back out because you've recovered a bit of your shields, and maybe that player was better than you and got a couple more shots than you, but I mean, well, it doesn't matter, because you know you've got extra shields so you can take them out. So you might find yourself challenging too much, and then, yeah, you'll be like, oh, I don't have regen field, but, yeah, it's just, it makes you become really complacent in the armor abilities you use, which is, why, like I said before, I try to emulate competitive settings as much as I can in my loadouts. So for armor abilities, the reasons I use Thruster Pack and Jetpack, and although Jetpack isn't in the competitive settings, I don't see it too game breaking. It can be, but not like Camouflage game breaking. Thruster Pack is the one I use the most because it's in MRG settings, but also I like the fact that it's a really underrated armor ability, and I can use it to, like, you might have seen it in this gameplay as well, like dodge a few things, a few grenades, and you know, just out-juke an opponent, or I just find it really interesting to use and quite, yeah, it's my favourite armor ability. So, gameplay's coming to a close. If you don't like what I said, feel free to disagree with me, post it in the comments, say what you think. I'll try to reply to it. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and have a good one.